Welcome to the DNX podcast. My name is Sylvia Kristen. I am your host, and I'm here today with Marisa Peer, who is a rather unconventional therapist. Welcome. Hello.
Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, I had the privilege to listen to one of your talks here at A-Fest, and I was so fascinated that I couldn't resist asking you to be on this podcast. I'd love to share with our audience a little bit more about how you define what you do today as a traditionally trained therapist and psychiatrist, is that correct?
Yeah, psychologist,
and how you redefine that in your practice today.
I've always been an unconventional therapist, and I plan to always be an unconventional therapist, because I don't believe that people need to have 10 sessions to get better. So I created my own brand of therapy called Rapid Transformational Therapy, where I can pretty much transform anyone in a 90-minute session. If it's something really hardcore like bulimia, it might take 3. But even with bipolar depression, chronic anxiety, it simply isn't true people need 10 sessions. The problem they present may be very complex, but fixing it is not complex. So it's been my mission in life to stop making therapy complex and complicated and show people how to transform themselves really fast. And it took me quite some time to put together this program, which is amazing. And now we train therapists all over the world. We train doctors and even surgeons to learn how to use rapid transformational therapy. And it is extraordinary. And interestingly, like everyone who's good at what they do, I didn't learn that when I was training. I learned what works from my clients. My clients really showed me, oh, this really works. And it's often, you're trying new things. And so I put together everything that really was profoundly effective and made it into a formula that I could teach other people to use. And it is incredibly effective.
During your talk, you were sharing some really incredible stories, and you said that sometimes the word "you are enough" is enough and has an extraordinary effect on people's transformation. Would you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I realized that because I have so many clients. I may have a client who's running a Montessori nursery or works in a bakery, and I have another client who's a Hollywood royalty or real British royalty or an Olympic athlete, and I realized they all had the same issues, which is inside I just don't feel enough. And what happens with many clients is they come in with what I call the presenting. It's the problem they give you is the presenting problem. I'm anorexic, I'm bulimic, I'm a compulsive shopper, I'm a hoarder, I'm a compulsive eater, I have a problem with drink or drugs. And I've always been interested in what I call what lies beneath, because the problem a client brings to a therapist, and often a doctor too, is not the problem. The problem lies beneath. And I realized that for all my clients, especially addicts, they never felt enough. And so I started to treat that. It's like peeling away layers of an onion and treating the middle bit. And when I started to treat, your real issue is you don't think you're enough. That's why you binge or hoard or use drink or drugs. The transformation was profound. And so when you say, I am enough, your mind will never argue with it, because we all come onto the planet knowing we're enough. No baby. If I went to my little girl when she was 3, what do you want for Christmas? She said, I want a Barbie castle, a horse, and a swimming pool. She wasn't greedy. They just have that belief. They would say, can I have a horse? Because they don't understand not enough. And it's very easy to say, who do you think you are? We can't possibly afford that. We'll never be able to afford that. Why can't you do that? Look at your brother. He's so good. Look at your sister. She could read when she was 4. And so children start very quickly to buy into, oh, I'm not enough. They do something that's very sad. They look at their life. Maybe dad hits mum, or mum is always crying because I haven't got enough money, or mum's boyfriend has left, or dad and mum are always at work. And a child can only see the world from their perspective. My mum is at that place called work. Oh, she must like it more than me. My dad and mum always shout. I guess I don't make them happy. I'm not as smart as my brother. And so they form this belief, oh, this is my fault because I'm not enough. And they try so hard to change it. They try to get in the middle of mum and dad fighting, or be the perfect kid, or try to work out why dad's left. But the only thing they can never come up with is I'm not enough. And then because there's so little, they add something to it. They tag on another belief. I'm not enough, and it will always be this way. I can't fix things, and it will never, ever change. I'm not enough for the rest of my life. And so I always say that I'm like a dentist and a detective. I'll work with my client to unpick, where did you ever begin to believe you're not enough? You know, Whitney Houston, Amy Winehouse, Heath Ledger, Philip Seymour, some of the most talented people in the world, Marilyn Monroe, Princess Diana, George Michael, all had this belief. Michael Jackson, I'm not enough. And they were beautiful, talented, engaging, and warm. So you have to go back and unpick it, because it's nothing to do with your talent, your looks, your body. It's a belief. So like a detective, I like to work out, where did you get that from? Then I like to get rid of that. Then you become like a dentist and you extract it and put in something way better, which is the truth. You are more than enough. You always have been. Till the day you die, you will be. You're not your body, your weight, your shape, your size. What you are is enough. People come back and say, you know, I listened to that recording and I just stopped binging overnight. I listened to that recording and I started investing in myself. I listened to that recording and I left a really abusive relationship thinking, you know what, I'm going to be on my own because I'm enough. And within 6 weeks, I met this amazing person who's what I've always wanted. Because when you know you're enough in your core, the lovely thing is it radiates out from you and other people pick it up and they also think, you're so enough for me.
It's so beautiful. Do you think that people have multiple layers of limiting beliefs, or
yes.
Really just, yeah?
Well, if you look at money beliefs, here's the multiple layers. I don't know how to get money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money runs out. So the first belief as a child when parents are struggling is we can't find the money. I mean, no one finds money. You go out and make it. But when I can't find the money, I don't know where to get the money, we just haven't got the money. The first belief is you can't get money. Then there's a second belief, which is spiritual people shouldn't have money. Rich people are soulless. They've sold their soul to the devil. Rich people are mean and ruthless. And good people don't pursue money. And then there comes a third belief, which is if you have the kind of parents who don't make enough money and get paid on Friday and have run out of money by Thursday, no matter how much money you get, there'll always be a belief that I need to spend. I mean, I've worked with so many rock stars and quite a few lottery winners. I think the prediction is 75% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 3 or 4 years, because if you've never had money to invest and your only pattern is to spend it, then no matter how many millions you get, that's exactly what you do. So there's layered beliefs about money. There's layered beliefs about relationships. I'm not lovable enough. Maybe I could delude you for a little while. I might fool you, but you'll leave me eventually. And so all these beliefs could become fixed belief. They become blocks. They become a blueprint in the mind. And what most people don't understand, and I wish they would, is that when you make this blueprint, your mind and body do everything to meet that blueprint, whether it's good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, real or not real. Your mind will always work to the blueprint. So when people go, if I look at a cake, I get fat, actually the stress of believing that makes cortisol, which programs your body to lay down fat. When you go, whatever I eat, I burn it off. That's true. My mind is like a sieve. I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. I have a great memory. You see, we can choose what to believe. You know, I could choose to say, I'm just a loser and nothing works out, or everything I touch works out. And if it doesn't, it wasn't meant for me, and it taught me something anyway. It taught me that's not for me. So I can choose what to do, but what you can't choose is the damage you do to your body when you go, I'm a loser, I'm no one, I don't count, I just don't matter, I don't know what's wrong with me, I guess I'm messed up, but I always get rejected, my relationships never work out, I never get promoted at work, no one even sees me. I don't know how to make my life a success. And when you go into the negative beliefs, which is a choice, I would say it's a luxury you can't afford, the thing you can't choose is the damage that creates inside, the stress, the ulcers, the depression, the high cortisol levels, the intense sadness, because it's all a lie. That's just, everyone has a talent. And you know what else? There's enough money on the planet for everyone. There's love for everyone, there's money and success for everyone, that we're just not taught that. And we learn half of what we learn in our whole life before we're 5. So if you have parents that go, we're not that kind of people, we can't afford foreign holidays, or we don't eat out. It becomes a belief and you make your beliefs, and then your beliefs turn around and make you. So you have to learn to make your beliefs amazing. And it sounds hard, but the great thing is that first it's what you do, but very quickly it becomes who you are. It's like going to the gym. You make yourself go and you make yourself go, and then all of a sudden you notice you love it. And you don't make yourself go, you go because you like it. It's the same with beliefs. You say them, and then eventually your mind goes, do you know what? You say this so much. It must be true. And then it sinks in like lotion on dry skin, and it stays there.
Beautiful. So if somebody wants to get started on that, what's a really easy way to get started on more positive self-talk to eradicate these mental habits?
Keep saying I'm enough. So if you go, look, I've got cellulite, don't go, just go, yeah, I have got cellulite. And you know what? I'm enough. I'm not a size 0. I'm still enough. I don't have the job of my dreams. But if I know I'm enough, I'm more likely to get it. So don't argue with yourself. Just keep saying I'm lovable, I'm enough, I'm lovable. Because the more you say it, look at Meghan Markle. Who would have believed a mixed-race divorcee from America would be part of the royal family? I love that because she's got the most profound self-belief. She would never think that she's second-rate. But my daughter's mixed race, so I can say that. So many people believe that if you're blonde and blue-eyed, you've got a free card in life. And I think that used to be true, but it's changing. I think mixed-race women are far more beautiful.
I agree.
So the whole world is changing. Barack Obama was the president. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg didn't go to university, and here they are. Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey didn't have a university education. So when you're allowing yourself to say, how can I make it? I wasn't educated. How can I make it? One of my clients said, I had no books in my house. We were an Indian family, no one read. And I went, well, it's never too late to read. He's now written a book about his life. So you just have to understand, I know it sounds hard, but being negative is a luxury you cannot afford. I was a single parent. I brought my daughter up alone. I had no child support. I was very lucky I was a therapist because I could work from home. But we have these unmet needs, and we believe some guy's going to come along and marry me and sort me out, or some girl's going to turn up.
Isn't that called the Cinderella complex?
Yeah. Or so I'm going to get this great job. And here's the truth. We do have unmet needs, and we wander around looking for people to meet them. The only person who can meet your unmet needs is you. And when you decide, look, I can meet loads of these needs. I want praise. Well, let me praise myself. My dad never told me I was worth anything. I'll do it. Because I meet clients who are still waiting for their dad to go, you're a good son. And I'm like, your dad is dead. And even if he's never going to say it, but you know what? The most important word you will ever hear in your entire life are the words you say to yourself. So whatever you wanted to hear, I call it the missing piece. If you want to hear you're gorgeous, lovable, amazing, wonderful, the favorite, the best, the smartest, say it. Because not only does your mind not care what you say, it doesn't know whether that's real or false. It will let it in. Amy Winehouse had a habit of saying, I'm a loser, I'm just so damaged. And Whitney too would always say that. And that clearly was not true, but they believed it to be true until they made it true. And so the most effective thing is take a minute and think of the praise you would love to have heard from your parents, teachers, best friends, siblings, and say it to yourself. I'm a great kid. I'm a smart person. I've got something amazing to offer the world, and do it every day, because there is nothing on the planet that will grow your self-esteem like self-praise. Not other people's praise, because they have an agenda. Self-praise. So tip number 1, praise yourself a lot. When you look in the mirror, don't go, oh my God, look at the state of me. Go, here I am. I'm a wonderful person with something amazing to offer the world. Don't let in criticism of other people. Critical people, without question, have the most criticism reserved for themselves. and they reflect out to you their own dissatisfaction, and you have a choice to not let it in, to go, well, thanks for sharing that, which means it's your opinion, I don't believe it. But the worst critic in your life is you. Stop criticizing yourself. Criticism withers you and praise grows you. So every time you're about to go, oh, look at me, I'm such a loser, I forgot the car keys, I forgot to charge my, I'm an idiot. Just go, I'm allowed to make a mistake and I'm still an amazing person. So, and then the third thing is write all over your house, on your mirrors, in lipstick or eyeliner, I'm enough. Put it on your fridge with fridge magnets. Change your passwords to I'm enough, squiggle dot something, so that you read it every day. So you type it out every day. Type it, write it, read it, say it. And I promise you it will sink in like lotion on chapped lips. And it will heal you like lotion on chapped lips.
So here's a very important question that I always wonder about. So for example, my birthday was usually forgotten. So as a teenager, I started this ritual of buying myself presents.
Good.
And instead of having a birthday, I take the entire month of October to celebrate myself.
Good. I love that.
I call it birthday month, and it's rather extravagant. And every now and then I hear somebody say, that's so sad. And I'm thinking, why is that sad?
It's not sad to you, is it?
It's not sad to me.
I think it's great. Yeah, and I love that. You see, you've taken responsibility. Responsibility means an ability to respond. And if your parents forgot your birthday and you decide to celebrate yourself, it's a wonderful thing. I had a friend, a grown-up friend, who never had a party. Would come to my daughter's party, go, oh my God, I never had that. So for his 40th birthday, I did a proper children's party with balloons and cakes, and invited him and all my girlfriends, and he had the best time, and he had a badge saying birthday boy, and he just loved it, because it's never too late to have a happy childhood, even if you're 60. And it's really important to look at the missing part. You know, when I had a daughter, I did all the things. I was never allowed to have Barbies, and so she had so many Barbies. My parents were very controlling about, no sugar, no chocolate. And so I didn't go mad at that, but I let her, and we go to the store and I go, you can have whatever you want, if you wanted some candy. But she never came out with a massive box. She just spent ages picking the ones she wanted. And I realized I was having my second childhood through her. But you can do that for yourself, whatever you wanted as a kid that you didn't get. Buy yourself stuff, sit up all night watching cartoons and eating cereal if you weren't allowed to do that. But the most important thing is to fall in love with yourself. And buying yourself gifts is falling in love with yourself. Saying I'm enough is falling in love with yourself. Praising yourself is falling in love with yourself. And blocking destructive criticism is falling in love with yourself.
I think that's the key factor, right?
Yeah.
Like once you start this habits, which is rather unconventional,
yeah,
right? Because I think not a lot of people practice this yet. So being able to, once you take on these practices, blocking out this criticism is kind of important.
Yeah, because we're born with a cheerleader that goes, oh, look at you, you can stand up, you're a genius, you can crawl, you're like amazing, you can feed yourself a banana. I remember my little girl, when she learned to sit up, I just remember she was beaming. She was so proud of herself. When she could walk, she thought she was the queen of the world, because we have a cheerleader going, yes, oh, look at you, you're amazing, this has got your name on it. And the cheerleader becomes a critic. And I'm a great believer in putting the cheerleader back. So every time we do something, they're waving their pom-poms, screaming out your name. Even when you're failing, the cheerleader's going, you can do it, you can do it. And falling in love with yourself is really about celebrating yourself. If you have parents who didn't celebrate you, that's such a shame. But it's never too late to celebrate. I mean, my parents told me I should be a nanny because they really thought I wouldn't achieve anything. My brother went to private school and my sister did, and I didn't. I went to a state school because they thought it was a waste of time to educate me. And I love my brother and sister and my parents, but they'd be the first to say I'm the most successful, the wealthiest. I've achieved more than all of them. I sometimes think it's because I thought I'm going to show you. I was going to be a nanny. Luckily, I didn't become a nanny. what a waste to the world. But, maybe that upbringing made me understand what it's like to have no one believe in you and to always feel like you're the least important. I always thought I was ugly and stupid and geeky and freaky and hideous. And I really felt that. And then I just changed dramatically. And now when I meet people from my childhood, they go, "Oh, you're so different. What do you do?" It's not what you do, it's who you become. I just had to believe in myself when no one else did. And actually, it's not hard to believe in yourself. You have to repeat it, because one of the most vexing things about the mind, bar none, it's the thing that therapists find so annoying, is that your mind loves what is familiar. And it likes to return to what's familiar. Any parents here will notice how their little children want the same cup, the same movie, the same bedtime story, because familiar makes you safe. When we lived in tribes, we lived in walled cities. They closed the gates at night, and we stayed in a familiar place, and we ate the same food, and we hung out with people we knew, and that was how we guaranteed we would survive. And our mind has this very old wiring that says familiar keeps you safe, and unfamiliar is dangerous. And so the mind likes to run back to having no money. People say, surely you won't reject love. If it's not familiar, you absolutely will. But here's the good thing. You can make anything familiar with effort. Take sugar out of your coffee and notice how quickly it goes from being, oh, that's horrible, to being familiar. Get up early and meditate. All you have to say, thank you for sharing that. But if it's a work situation, someone is really saying to you, oh, that presentation you gave was terrible. You say to them, could you say that again? I didn't get that. Would you repeat it? They usually won't, because they know that you're going to challenge them. They just go, oh, it doesn't matter, me and my big mouth. And if they back off, don't pursue them. If they do go, yeah, I said that your presentation was so bad, you were so wooden, it was an insult to wood, then you go, oh, are you trying to make me feel bad about myself? Usually they'll go, no, I just thought if I told you how bad it was, you'd spend more time, or maybe you'd never give presentations again. So even people are hypercritical. They often think they give it, like someone said, you look really fat in that. They go, oh, but I thought if I told you, you stop wearing tight pants or go on a diet. But if they do go, yes, I wanted you to feel bad, you just go, well, that's not going to work, because I'm not letting that in. And by the way, since we're sharing here, did you know that critical people always have the most criticism reserved for themselves? And every day when you tell me these things, you're just showing me, and in fact the entire office or our entire family, that you don't like yourself. So if you have a very critical mother-in-law that goes, oh, I don't know why you can't cook like I do, or this is simply not good enough, or look at your house is so messy, you go, thanks for sharing that. Or you could go, could you say that again? I didn't get that. I just said that your house is a tip. It's really messy. You go, oh, are you telling me that because you want to hurt me? No, I wasn't telling you that because I thought it would help you become a tidy person. Or they might say, yeah, it's disgusting the way you live. And you go, well, I'm not going to let that in. We're hippies. We've got 5 kids, 6 cats. We don't care about tidiness. We care about people. So that's not going in. And by the way, did you know that every time you criticize me, you're telling me that you're unhappy? My kids are not going to grow up remembering that there was dirty cups in the sink. They're going to remember that we loved them and we played and we had fun. The most loving family I ever met, they lived in utter chaos. But I used to go and stay with them a lot, and like sweet wrappers would stick to your feet when you walked around their house. But they go, oh, they were just so in love with their children themselves. And they didn't care about clean sheets or putting stuff away, but they were amazing. And each one of those kids has turned out to be extraordinary.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. We're at the end of our time. We're going to post the links on how to find you below this podcast so people can get back in touch with you and take part in your program.
Sure. So if you go to marisapeer.com, that's my main website, and we're always giving away, I think we're giving away at the moment, a mini course on your relationship with money, another one on how to grow self-esteem. We give free stuff away every month. And if you want to know how to do what I do, you can go to transformationaltherapy.com, and we give stuff away there too.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to have to check it out myself. Thank you so much for making the time.
Fall in love with yourself. Start today. It's a relationship that never tires, never wanes, and never disappoints you. It's the beginning of a lifelong romance. Start now.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Before I leave you, I want to invite you into my world. Join us at the DNX Festival in September in Lisbon. If you go to our website and use the promo code podcast50, you get an extra 50 euros off your ticket. And subscribe to this channel and leave us a review if you can. We will review these frequently, and you can leave us a question that we will answer live online. Until next time.